chance to not only upgrade the entire KRX, put it on steroids. It's been 2 months since we did the video, I believe. Now we have an opportunity to not only tell you what we did, we're gonna have an opportunity to tell you what we like and don't like. So what we wound up doing was a long travel kit from Super ATV. We went to the EFX Moto Crusher 40 by 10 18s. We kept the portals on it. We wound up gutting the clutch is back out of it. Shipped those off to JBS. James Davis is the owner. That dude is sharp. What we wound up doing is I think we did 18% gear reduction. Basically just shaved down the primary, took the primary spring out, did some cool stuff. I absolutely love it. Anyway, so it looks completely badass. We removed the Super ATV little tiny cooler slash, it holds about a bologna sandwich and half a bag of chips. It doesn't hold anything at all. I know who drives my stuff, so I gotta pack parts and I gotta pack tools. So I went to the pack out and I love it. The coolers are great, they hold ice great. You can mismatch, do whatever you want, small boxes, big boxes, more coolers, less coolers. I think that was a phenomenal idea. It looks absolutely stunning. I cannot begin to tell you guys the compliments that I have. It is 94 or 95 inches wide. Like, dude, this thing goes down the parade like it's a giant spider. It's got crazy amount of ground clearance, but I hate it. It changed the geometry of my suspension. It has changed the way the machine performs rock crawling in the aspect of the front end is just a brick. It doesn't want to move. It doesn't want to flex. It doesn't want to transfer the energy to the spring. It just does a bunch of weird stuff. My biggest complaint, dude, this thing bump steers like a Honda Rancher going through freaking pivot tracks, man. Like, you do not, in fact, if you listen closely, probably hear all the broken and stripped out bolts of my hub.
Sounds good.
Just missing some teeth. Because I don't care if it's a little sand knob, I don't care if it's a rock the size of a chew can. This thing will rip the steering wheel out of your hand. It is too wide, it's got too much deals. Now, yes, I have everything stacked up on the shelf for full hydro, literally. I've had it for probably, I don't know, a month, maybe more. Time's my only problem. So, the plan, we are taking off the 40s, and the 40s are just gonna be a parade. It's gonna be a showroom, go somewhere pretty, whatever. It looks absolutely badass, but it does not perform like it needs to for me. It is too big. It is too top heavy now. It has got too many problems. The plus side that I will tell everyone is I am absolutely amazed with these tires. I was worried that the EFX was going to be too luggy of a lug pattern to truly be a sticky. But even with it being a wider offset lug pattern than a Zilla or a OBOR or whatever, it still performs amazing. Once you get them broke in, it's a great tire, holds up well. I've not been nice to it. I'll have Matt stitch in some clips of me doing some just insane burnouts in this thing, breaking in the tires. So I have all of the Jamboree on it, and I probably have five or six little runs here and there. Also, be 100% honest with the way it's set, my rack is toast. My rack is done. There's no moving forward with this rack. This machine can go in and out of the shop. It can go to a parade. But if I went to go wheel this right now, my rack is holding on by a hope and a prayer. So that sucks. But it's because of the portals. It's just too wide. It's bump steering too bad. And I knew it was gonna not be great because I was running 10 wides before on a 5+5, but it never bump steered, ever. And doing this, now it's just, it is atomically horrible. So the plan is pretty simple. We're gonna take the 40s off. We're gonna do a full hydro. Going back to 37s. I'm gonna go back to my OBORs. I loved them, they did okay. I'm still a Zilla fan at heart, but I am not buying a 17-inch wheel. It just ain't happening. I will stick to a 15 or an 18. If I go to an 18, I can have a 39, I can have a 40, I can have whatever. If I go to a 15, I can have a 32, 35, 37. I'm not gonna buy a special wheel for one special tire size. I love Maxxis, but they seriously shot themselves in the foot on that one. So that's the next plan for it. So in my mind, I was running a 10 wide wheel, a 5+5 offset. So technically, I was the same width before that I am now. And now I'm gonna get the opportunity to have the long travel, go to a 0 offset wheel and a smaller tire to where it's not going to be so hard on ball joints. It's not going to be so hard on all these turning components. Went with the Killer ball joints. They have not failed. They have not had any issues. Killer is a badass ball joint. I'm super happy with them. I had a buddy of mine build me these tie rods because we all know how I am with tie rods. And yeah, it just feels horrible. It's not comfortable. I absolutely love the way it looks. If I could figure out a way to make it function better, but we've pulled the suspension in and out a million times. We've changed the geometry. We've brought the car up. We've brought the car down. We've done all kinds of different aspects, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work for me. And that is just pure experience of full-size crawlers and the experience I have in this and my two-seater. It is now at the point where it's going in the wrong direction. Now, that's opinionated. Some people like the big cars. Some people like the big 40s and all this stuff for rock crawling. But what I'm telling you is with 40-inch tires, the 30% gear reduction at the portals, and the gear reduction in there, I still am not gear reducted enough to have that smooth transition for the absolute binds that we put these things in. It just doesn't work. It doesn't like it, and you still are riding the clutch. It's just, you know, I don't know, horrible. I really thought this was going to be a super cool stage for this thing, and I'm super shocked that I'm willing to go back. And I want to go back because of how comfortable I was. I want to go back because of how planted it was, that little bit lower center of gravity, and just making it back to where it's functionable and it's usable for the way I will and our area. I mean, it's a 4-seater, it's a limo, so of course I want to have more ground clearance, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. So hopefully here in the next, I don't know, month and a half-ish, I'll for sure have it. I bought some MRT Trail Gunner wheels, super badass 2-piece wheel, beadlock. If you missed the sale on the 4th of July, that really sucks because it was half off everything at MRT. I bought 2 sets and we'll run those. We're never running 10 wides again. We're never running 5+5s again because I'm done spending money on steering components. It's just not It's not worth it for me. And we're gonna bring it back down to a reality that it's a rock crawler. And probably leave it at that and enjoy it for what it is.